Hello, welcome to the channel. This is the kart driver tier list. I'm definitely not jumping on a trend that's already like out of date, but no one's done this for kart drivers, so I thought I'd do one and include some F1 drivers, much to my own distress. But if anyone trips across this video, it's always good to have some recognisable names in there, unfortunately. So how am I ranking these drivers? Just gut instinct, I guess. And how I feel about them. Definitely you need multiple world championships, or at least one or two, to be proper S tier. And there's some, of course, if you disagree, let me know. If you agree, let me know. If you'd like to see some more drivers, because I haven't included all world champions on this list. It's sort of a varied account of a few drivers. So, well, the reason I did it is if the video does well, I've got more drivers to add, you see, so... Anyway, so I'll crack on. I'll start with a few F1 drivers for you folk who aren't aware of the legendary karters that we will be getting to as we go along. So let's crack on. Let's start with Ayrton Senna, right? Now you might think Senna should be S tier. Controversially, he's not. He's an A tier driver. He doesn't have a world championship to his name, so I can't really put him in an S tier. He came close. And he certainly, in period, was very well respected, and they all knew how good he was back then, but he never quite cracked it. He got close in 79, but everyone thought it was a lost world championship, but we can make an argument for several other drivers who faced similar issues. For him, it was like a weird points count back thing that meant he didn't win. And in the end, it was Peter Kuhne who won, deservedly so. So, A tier, obviously a legend of Formula 1, legend of karting, but not quite A tier. Now, Schumacher, see, I know Schumacher mostly from his exploits when he did karting as an F1 driver. When he did kart racing, a lot of people rated him highly, but he never won a world championship. He did the 2001 Kirpin round of the world championship, which is kind of cool when you think about it, considering what was at stake at Ferrari at the time. He was sort of okay in the dry, pretty good. Nothing special. In the wet, he was really good. So, I can't... You know, when he did the Scusa Supernats in KZ in 2009, I was there for that. Fantastic racer. Highly, highly aggressive, but... Do I put him up there with Senna? No, I can't. Not from a kart's point of view. He's B tier, I'm afraid. Now, he might have the talent to be an A tier and S tier, but I think on results, I've got to put him as a B tier. Controversial, I know. If you disagree, please let me know. And I guess, you know, similarly, I might put George Russell there as well. Again, a lot of these drivers, they didn't stay in karting, so you can't have them as S tier unless they really achieve something special. So, similarly, George Russell, I'd put in B tier. Antonelli, highly rated at the time, but he didn't do enough races in the Group 1 category, which was KZ. I think he got pole at the World Championship, which was really good. But again, A tier, you really need to be, you know, around a bit longer for me in karts. So, B tier. Bearman never did FIA classes, or if he did, I'm not aware of it. Mostly did the single spec category. So, you can't really put him up there with a B tier. You know, on talent alone, yeah, sure, whatever. But we've got to put him somewhere. I really don't like doing Formula 1 drivers, but there you go. That's such his life. Lando won a world championship, but he did it in KF, and a lot of the top drivers had left already for KZ. So it doesn't really put him in the S tier, I'm afraid. The championship was already kind of devalued then to a certain degree. Not fully, but yeah, he's not an S tier car. Didn't hang around long enough. Lance Stroll was not as bad as you might imagine on results. He did the FIA classes. He got 6th in 2013 in the KF class. So, you know, maybe B tier, C tier. I'll put him C tier. Then, who else have we got with F1 pedigree? So, Trulli. He's an S tier kart driver. He stayed around quite long. And there are a few F1 drivers who are S tier kart drivers, for sure. I really would have preferred them to stay in karting, to be honest with you, but Trulli won World Championship in the direct drive and the gearbox category, so by default you can't have him not in it as an S-tier driver. Same with Max Verstappen, World Champion in KZ, which was the top class. Not, like KF was the lineal championship, but the KZ was where all the proper drivers were at the time, proper karters, and he won that. He should have won I'm not going to say he should have won the KF World Championship, but Tom Joyner won that. So S tier. His 2013 season was immense. Again, really, the S tier should be for drivers who won and stayed for a long time. So, but he didn't. But I think the results were so astonishing. Can't not have him there. Lewis Hamilton, very good as a cadet driver, very good as a junior driver, senior driver in Formula A, very good. Seized out the Formula A World Championship in 2000, probably should have won that. Didn't have a great season in the top class in 2001. We can put that down to chassis. Certainly had the talent to be an S tier, but I don't know. I don't know if I could put him as a B tier. I just think 1 year in Formula Super A and not coming close to the World Championship, can't really put him as an A driver, because if Senna got second and he did it, he raced the World Championship multiple years, he deserves that A tier status. So controversially, I put Hamilton as a B tier. In terms of karters and sort of the legendary status of karters, I just don't think you can put him as an A tier. I mean, he might have the talent for it, but just didn't quite get that. 2001, I think he needed a decent year to really put him in an A tier perspective. Right, now let's get on. Beggio, multiple champion in the gearbox classes. Like, it's just like bosh, no trouble at all. Bobby Allen died recently, which I'd like to talk or write about some more, because I think as a driver he's an astonishing driver. And he didn't just win, like the World Championship when it was the GP KCA, not the FIA thing. This was like before the FIA era. He won races at places like Sebring, so it's like the diversity of what he was racing and classes. I mean, you just can't argue with that. Bosh. Now, a contemporary of his was Faye Pierson. Never won a World Championship, but incredibly talented driver. She won a heat at Shennington at the World Championship round there in 762. So she was winning the heats and stuff. So talent-wise, she was up there. Again, she raced multiple different events, like the Tecate 75 miler or the 100 miler, which was in Mexico, which was like mixed, conditions, like you had tarmac and gravel. So by default, you have to put them in the A tier just for the variance of what she was racing and races she was competitive and winning in. So I'm going to put her A tier solidly. Davide Fore, 4-time world champion. I mean, there's no argument there. That's an S tier. Francois Goldstein, bang, easy. Multiple world championships. I think he won 5 in the end. And he was only beaten in terms of number of world championships by Mike Wilson. So Mike, bosh. Now, Mike Wilson, S tier easily. But those world championships came when... Let me just alter the situation here with a light. His championships came when Formula K came in, and you had this split of hundreds and 135. So, maybe some of the championships weren't as competitive as they should have been, but you don't win that many world championships without being one of the best. And he also, in 1979, he should have won that world championship, and that he was taken out of the first corner in the first final. And he had who did you have? Kuhne, De Bruyn, Fullerton, Senna, and he was as quick as all of them. So, if not quicker, so S tier easily. Manetti, easy, S tier. Rovelli, 2 world champions. Rovelli, 2 world championships, so that automatically is S tier. Ardigo, world champion in KF, so he got it in the end. And then world champion in KZ. Incredibly smooth driver. I remember seeing him at the 2005 Kart Masters at PF, and he won that. It was just so smooth, so like pinpoint precision, all that sort of cliche stuff. Amazing. And when you win, sort of like with Trulli, if you win in KZ gearbox and single gear, if you're winning in both categories, it just shows the depth of talent there that you just can't argue with. Orsini, S tier, one of the best drivers in the 90s, only got a single world championship. I mean, these are one weekend affairs, so there's a bit of luck about it, but he won the European Championship, and one of my favourite drivers, so Bosch, S tier. Travisanutto, 2-time world champion, front row at the KZ World Championship this year. Possibly could have won. Again, one weekend affairs. S tier, I think he's an incredible talent. Sala, 2 times world champion. S tier, Bosch. Susanna Raganelli, 1 world championship, multiple European championships. I think she won the Italian championship. I mean, what she achieved was incredible. So I think she deserves her S tier status. I think she probably would have won the 67 world championship had she not been injured at the 6-hour Paris endurance race. Incredible driver, won multiple circuits as well. So, you had Dusseldorf, which was a street race. No, that wasn't Dusseldorf. Was it Copenhagen? Can't remember. But she won on street events, car park events, and traditional circuits. So different sort of styles. Against some of the best drivers in the world at the time. Guido Sala, Pernigotti. The Brits as well. She beat Mickey Allen, so S tier. Bang. Danilo Rossi, S tier, easy. I think he won Formula C as well, so world championships in both. Gianniberti, just because it's the 90s and he looks so cool, man. I think he won on the Haas as well, which is this S tier is stacked, man. But like I said, I've left out a lot of drivers because if you like the video and it does well, I've got a lot of drivers that I can add and maybe sort of fill out this area too. Oliver Oakes, 2005 world champion. Beat Mark Litchfield, who seized. Such a good driver. So A tier, definitely last driver to win a world championship on a British chassis. So, yeah. And obviously we don't have Gillard anymore other than being a brand for OTK, which is a shame, which isn't great. Danny Keirle, I think, has the potential to be an S tier driver, but and he won the world championship at his first attempt. So, but I mean, naturally, A tier driver. Multiple British champion in X30. I just think the sport, he came sort of good too late in terms of where the sport was. I think, like a lot of drivers, particularly British drivers, I think if it was the 90s and the 80s, they'd thrived a lot more. But that, it's a shame he's not racing anymore. Who else have we got? Tom Joyner, World Championship 2013, beat Max Verstappen. Does he get S tier status? I think if he stayed around a bit longer, collected a few more championships. I mean, I know that like Orsini had 1 world championship and Joyner has 1 world championship, but I guess, when he won his world championship, he had the KZ at the time where a lot of the top drivers were. So I think A tier still, look, he's got some good company in there. Terry Fullerton, 1 world championship, should have won more. I think the legendary status that he has and the sort of, obviously the quote by Senna, and it's like with a lot of drivers, you don't know how good they were at the time because they might have 1 world championship to their name, but they're winning in so many different places and different championships. And Fullerton was so good. He should have won more world championships. And that's the thing. It's like, you deserve S tier if it's like obvious that you should have won more world championships. Okay, no, I didn't. I just got a picture of this kart here, and that's Charles Leclerc. Great driver, second at the world championship in 2013 behind Max Verstappen, I think. And it was one of his first KZ races, so I can't really put him in. I don't think he's A tier. I don't think he shares the limelight with Ayrton Senna, who didn't win a world championship. Because I think Ayrton Senna came back and he continued to try and win, so I think he gets more status for that. So I'll stick Leclerc as a B tier. And then obviously, Mickey Allen, he didn't win a world championship, but he came close. He was one of the best British drivers of ever. Probably could have won a world championship. So I do put him ahead of the likes of Hamilton and Schumacher as a kart driver because he stayed around. He was in the sport for over a decade. Won so many races beyond the world championship, because the world championship can often be a 1 weekend luck oriented affair. So he should be S tier, but A tier is fine. So I'll put him there. So there you go. That's my kart tier list for now. I'm sure there's more drivers. Like I said, if you've got a driver that you think should be on the list, or I've put a driver in the wrong place, let me know. And I'd love to hear your comments and more drivers. So another list of drivers that I can add to this list, I'd love to if the video does well. So yeah, I think that S tier is pretty stacked. And actually, because these are F1 drivers, I don't think they deserve to be at the front. Bosh. There we go. Yeah, that looks much better now. Actually, yeah. That looks good. So, thanks for watching.